What's good, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Pull Up. I am Tony Ramsey, giving you a quick recap of last night's NBA action, as well as my predictions for tonight's slate of NBA games, and also some news that we have from the association so far. The latest news early on is coming from Minnesota and Houston, where the Rockets reportedly have offered about 4 first-round picks for disgruntled Jimmy Butler, who wants to be moved from Minnesota. This will be an interesting trade, as this will give the Rockets 3 All-Stars if this trade does end up getting pulled off sometime in the next week or so. Not quite sure how the chemistry there would work in Houston, but it would, of course, change their start to the season if they were to land a star like Jimmy Butler, especially with James Harden out with a hamstring injury for the next couple of games, reportedly. Also, got to be pretty desperate to give up 4 first-round picks for a player like Jimmy Butler, who is in his later 20s going into his early 30s soon, will be approaching free agency soon. And if this does not work out, this will cause the Houston Rockets their potential future. But they're going for it all. They're trying to beat the Warriors in the West. It's going to be a tough thing to do this season. I think the championship's already sewn up there. But hey, if you're not trying, you're just losing. So it is what it is for Houston. For Minnesota, this will be a great haul. They already have a good young core. Not quite sold yet on Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. Personally, I think they have a lot of growing up to do as professionals. They are both extremely talented, but they just have too many mental lapses where they seem to check out in the season. So we'll see what happens if Jimmy Butler is indeed moved. I know if this does happen, this would put the Timberwolves out of the playoffs, in my opinion. So something to keep an eye on here in the next coming days or so to see if this trade actually ends up getting pulled off. All right, now to the scores. We did have 4 games on the NBA schedule last night. I believe the early one was the Cavaliers and the Pistons. Pistons won this one 110-103 behind 26-10 from Blake Griffin and a 26-22 rebound game from Andre Drummond. Easy work there. Looks like the Pistons weren't really playing hard the whole game and were still able to pull us out by at least 7 points. The Cavaliers are in tough shape. There was no Kevin Love in this game. Colin Sexton did have 14 off the bench. But other than that, not really too many bright spots. Kyle Korver with 21 points, and I think he had 16 of those in the fourth quarter. But they're in bad shape. The Cavs are now 0-5, and the Pistons are now 4-0 to start the season. Good start for them. Great start for them with Dwayne Casey as the new coach. The Blazers over the Magic in Orlando, 128-114. Excuse me, huge stat line there from Damian Lillard. Put up 41 points, 7 boards, 6 assists on 13-23 from the field, 5-10 from 3, 22 from C.J. McCollum on 7-12, shooting a real quiet 22. And Zach Collins off the bench with 17 points on 7-7 from the field. Whereas Orlando, Vucevic did put up 24 points, 11 boards. They shot 10-16 from the field. And a good bright spot for them would be, I think it's going to be Jonathan Isaac this season. The Magic, I don't think are going anywhere far at all. They'll be competitive like most teams are going to be when they're young and hungry. But he is a very good building block. He's all over the place defensively. He had 4 blocks in this game. And he has a ton of, he's oozing talent right now with that height, that shot blocking ability, the ability to move his feet. Now, if his offense can come around as well as his defense is, then he'll be something to watch out for in the future with building him next to Aaron Gordon. They still need a good point guard, though, because DJ Augustin is not going to get it done long term. All right, and in one of the TNT games, we had the Celtics over the Thunder 101-95 in Oklahoma City. This loss drops the Thunder down to 0-4 and puts the Celtics with a 3-2 record. Jason Tatum with 24 points here had a pretty big dunk on Paul George earlier in the game. It was very exciting there. Marcus Morris off the bench with 21 points and 10 boards. Kyrie chipped in 15. Al Horford with 19 there. Russell Westbrook only 13 points, 15 boards, 8 assists, but he only shot 5 of 20 from the field. So he's still getting his legs, and this is only his 2nd game of the season so far. It looked like he was pressing a lot to try to get the Thunder their first win. They are dropping far behind in that Western Conference without a win right now. But the thing is, it's still early in the season. You have 78 more games to try to make up some ground. It's going to be tough to do. I had them in, I believe it wanted in the 4th or 5th seed in the West. This slow start probably will drop them down a little bit further, though, if the Lakers weren't already struggling themselves as well. And speaking of the Lakers, they beat the Nuggets in Los Angeles 121-114. Had a big fourth quarter comeback. I think they were down by 8 points at one point. Lance Stevenson came in and put up a quick 8 points, had a couple of assists there, and Kyle Kuzma, a few big blocks. LeBron James from triple-double in this game. He had 28 points, 11 boards, 11 assists, 10 of 17 from the floor. Lonzo Ball's been playing pretty solid so far as well. Not taking a lot of shots, taking smart shots, and is making them this season. He had 12, 8 assists, and 6 boards, along with 5 steals, which is pretty solid there. The big factor for the Lakers long-term is going to be JaVale McGee and how many minutes he can play. This one, he had 21 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, but he impacts the game not only from a defensive standpoint, but his length inside the paint. That's easy money for someone to throw a quick lob pass down there, gets the ball, and dunks it over on just about everybody. And he played 32 minutes in this game. If he can stay around that 30-minute mark throughout the season, that's going to be a game changer for Lakers, because the experiment with Kuzma playing center sometimes is not really going to go very well. He's just not heavy enough. And the interesting thing here, too, is that they were still without Brandon Ingram, Rajon Rondo due to those suspensions. And what's going to happen when these pieces all come back? How are they going to figure out their rotation? Because Stevenson has been very productive his last 2 games. So I think he's averaging 17 in the last 2 games. And Lonzo Ball in the starting lineup appears to have developed some chemistry with LeBron James. One thing needs to happen, they need to keep Kuzma in that starting lineup, because him and LeBron James chemistry is off the charts already early in the season. And Nuggets in this one had a pretty solid game from Jokic at 24, 11 boards, 3 assists, 22 from Jamal Murray, 20 off the bench from Monte Morris. Wow, I didn't see that coming. But this is Denver's first loss of the season, whereas the Lakers are now 2-3. So some pretty good games there. Tonight's NBA schedule, we do have a pretty full schedule. Looks like it's about 6 games on the agenda tonight. Bulls at the Hornets. Charlotte's favored by 9.5 points. I'm going to give this one to Charlotte, but I think the Bulls will cover because they can score points. Warriors going to Madison Square Garden playing the Knicks at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific on NBA TV. It's going to be a Warriors blowout. I think Steph Curry continues his hot streak and might have another 40-point game here. If you remember, I think he had 56 in the Garden, or maybe 54 in the Garden a few years back. Mavericks visiting the undefeated Raptors in Toronto. Toronto is favored by 11.5 points. That is a huge spread. I think the 2-2 Mavs are still competitive. I think they do cover the spread, but I give Toronto the victory here. Clippers going to the Rockets. Clippers are 2-2. Rockets at 1-3. No James Harden in this one, but Chris Paul will be back. I think the Rockets take this one to bring the record to 2-3. They are favored by 3 points. I think they cover that spread. Bucks at the Timberwolves. And Bucks are undefeated as well. This one's in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's favored by 1.5. I'm going to give this one to the Bucks. I think they remain undefeated and give the Timberwolves a 2-4 record with this loss here, if that happens. And I think Jimmy Butler ends up getting moved before the end of the weekend. Nets visiting the undefeated Pelicans. Pelicans are 3-0, and they're favored by 9.5 points. I'm going with the Brown in this one. I think they improved the record to 4-0. I think they also blow out the Nets in this one. And Wizards visiting the Kings in the late NBA TV game. Wizards at 1-3, Kings at 2-3, surprisingly. Washington's favored by 4.5 points. I think Washington does end up winning this game. They did just drop a road game to the Warriors, where Steph did hang up 51 points on them. But I think Washington is still going to find a way to pull out this easy road win here against the Kings. And I think that they do cover that 4.5 point spread. All right, that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Tony Ramsey. If you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button down below. Make sure that you guys subscribe down below as well. Hit the notification link. This way you guys can catch any of my new videos when I drop them every morning. Again, my name is Tony Ramsey. This has been the NBA Pull-Up for October 26th. You guys take it easy. Peace.